unfortunately, like I'm willing to go now. I'm willing to go throw caution to the wind a lot more because I do not trust those judges.
All right, Tanner, let's jump right into it, man. You're at the gym. You just got done with the workout.
Yeah.
Take us through your setup, man, in the background. It looks cozy.
I'm at Little Sweatshop, which is one of the gyms I train at, and this is actually Helen's workout room. She's got a whole setup in here. She's a personal trainer out here, but we got, hold on, I'll take you through. This has got the ski erg, which is part of the awful circuit we do every week. The assault bike, which I hate, and the Versa climber, which is like the bane of my existence. So we got weights and stuff, but we have a bigger weight room out there. This is kind of just like the personal training room, but it has all our cardio equipment in it. And nobody looks forward to Mondays, man.
No, those three machines that you just pointed out, those machines test what kind of human being you are, I believe.
Lactic acid makes cowards of us all.
Exactly, man. You're returning, man, April 23rd. You were supposed to fight last December. The fight was canceled. Travel restrictions have been a pain in the ass for a lot of fighters. How frustrating has it been for you going through all of that?
It was definitely frustrating. I mean, I last fought in June. I fought twice, but by the time I fight, it will have been nearly 10 months. Yeah. So that's a long layoff. And I'm excited to fight again and obviously to get a paycheck.
What are the effects of the long layoff for you as a professional athlete?
I'd say the main effect negatively would be just financial. I've been training the whole time. I've been ready to take a fight since October. I was trying to get a fight in October and UFC just didn't have one for me. And then eventually I got that December one. So like, man, I started training like for a fight intentionally in August. So man, I don't really have a huge off switch. I've been going. It's just too bad that I've been going and I haven't been able to rack up a couple more fights. But man, I'm ready and I've been ready. The main effect negatively of a layoff is like I said, financial, but positively, I'm getting better all the time still. So
yeah, that's great, man. That's great. Leveling up your skill, because sometimes people say that they're in the gym, but they're not really in the gym. You know what I mean? Some fighters kind of pull back a little bit, right? And they don't go full blast. It seems like you've been going full blast because you had a fight, then they canceled it, and then you scheduled another fight. And it seems like you had like 4 months notice or something, like 3 months notice. That's a long notice.
Yeah, 3 months notice. Yeah. Like 3 solid months. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Before you booked this fight, Jared Vandera, he called you out on Instagram or TikTok or something about, he wanted to fight you next. Your response, man, was hilarious. I loved it. And I talked to Jared about it too, and he thought it was the best response for a call out ever. Did you do that in one take?
Yeah, I just said what I was thinking. I mean, clearly he knew I was right. He said his beard was better than mine, but fuck, he'd shaved his beard last fight. So he lost the beard challenge before it even started.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was hilarious, man. I loved it. I love that you guys could be creative in that way, you know what I mean, and not have to be attacking each other. There's that part of the sport, but still, I like the comedic angles too, man. It's fun. Nascimento, man, you're gonna face him, another Brazilian. Thoughts on him and what he brings to the matchup?
He's tough. I think he's got good grappling. He's got good jiu-jitsu. He's got good ground and pound. And on the feet, he's solid. He's aggressive. He comes at you. He's a tough challenge for sure, but at the same time, he's nothing that I haven't seen before.
Yeah, he like you said, he's aggressive, right? And I feel like that's gonna be a good thing for you, because some of the guys that you have faced, they're kind of been fighting from a distance and they don't come in too aggressive. You know what I mean? And which it will allow you to engage more, instead of maybe trying to chase somebody, right?
Yeah, I mean, the only guy that I'd say fought me on the outside purely technically was Arlovsky. And I mean, I have a lot of regrets about my performance in that fight. I don't know if that's a normal, that's not a typical thing I've had to face. Linz was coming at me. Spitz was game. Pessoa come at me. Gone beat me up. Like, I haven't had guys running away from me, honestly, but I'm used to fighting aggressive guys. A long time ago, I used to be always fighting. Ah, fuck. Sorry, man. Low power notice on my phone. A long time ago, I used to always be fighting the aggressive types who were just coming, and I would pick them apart and move. But I've I've changed, and I've wanted to change, and I'm knocking guys out now. So if he wants to come at me, I don't care. We can stand there and figure it out.
Nascimento, his last fight, right? It was overturned from a knockout to a no contest. He tested positive for Ritalinic acid, which is basically Ritalin after the fight. When a fighter tests positive for a banned substance, should there be different penalties? Because it seemed like he only got his fight overturned to a no contest and was fined like $2,000, which, if you think about it, his opponent lost the fight and pretty much lost half his paycheck.
Yeah, that sucks. I don't have a ton of thoughts on the matter, I guess. Ritalinic acid, I'm assuming it was a steroid thing or what?
It doesn't say it was a steroid. It's like a amphetamine in a way, I believe. I'm not a scientist, so I can't really tell you exactly what it
I don't
was.
know what for. I mean, he wasn't able to fight for a year, so he lost income in that way. Sucks for his opponent. If it was a steroid thing, which again, I haven't even looked into it. I don't really give a shit. If it's a steroid thing and his opponent lost and he could attribute that to some sort of strength disadvantage, I guess he can whine about it, but I don't know. He got fined maybe a little bit, but I mean, how much do you want to fine a guy? Like I don't care. I fought Pessoa tested positive after I fought him, and it doesn't get overturned when you beat the guy anyway, obviously. So man, I don't fucking care about that. It's none of my business, and I've never done a fucking steroid in my life. I didn't fucking take protein till like last year. Like these guys want to do what they want to do. They'll get caught. If not, I don't care. I'm here to fight anyways.
Do you feel like the UFC is doing a good job of catching people?
I'd think. I mean, the amount USADA shows up and intervenes in my life is annoying. So I'm sure that they're doing that to everybody.
Yeah. Every Almost every fighter that I know is not really friends with USADA. They're not enjoying the USADA process. That's the one kind of like thing that they don't like being in the UFC about.
It's annoying and it's inconvenient, but at the end of the day, if you're a clean athlete, you got to just hope that although like I said, it's an inconvenience. If they're here catching guys that would otherwise maybe get an edge over you because they were juicing, then it's a small price to pay. But I'm still gonna poke fun at them.
You coming off a knockout win over OSP, man. What are you expecting out of yourself in this upcoming fight?
Well, the fight's in Vegas, so I got to knock him out. If it goes to the judges, I'm not gonna fucking win.
Yeah, the judges, man, in Vegas, there has been a lot of questionable scorecards out in Vegas, you know what I mean? Even with no crowd, everybody's like, "Oh, the crowd sways the judges," but even with no crowd in Vegas, they still have some, oh man, I don't even know how to describe the judges, but what can we do? What can fighters do to fix this problem, man? Cuz a lot of fighters talk about it could be a career changer if you lose a fight because of the decision. You could lose half your purse. A lot of money's up for grabs.
Yeah, career changer for sure. You can lose half your purse. You can get cut off a loss. It's huge. I don't know a solution, man. I'm a fighter. This is beyond me. All I know is, unfortunately, like I'm willing to go throw caution to the wind a lot more because I do not trust those judges.
The state of the heavyweight division, I just wanted to get your thoughts on what's going on. Francis Ngannou, he's going to probably be out for the rest of the year due to the knee injury and surgery that he's probably going to have to undertake. Names are being thrown around for like interim titles and all of this stuff, and John Jones, Stipe, all of that. Are you on board with having an interim title? If the champion's gone until the end of the year.
It doesn't concern me, and I don't. I really don't care.
But if it did concern you, then you would probably be on board. Then is that fair to say?
I guess if I was a guy in the top three or whatever that were getting thrown into an interim title fight, I probably, yeah. I mean, then it would affect me, but I'm not, so I don't really care. If it's Stipe and Jones, you're taking Ngannou, who's going to be out for a year, and giving it to Stipe and Jones, who are going to fight and then be off for 2 years. That seems even stupider to me.
Well, I was talking to Jairzinho Rosenstrike the other day, and he was telling me that it should go to the guys that are being active and making the division run, you know what I mean, making the division continue, you know, not guys just sitting around and waiting around for opportunities, because that's not fair to the heavyweights that have been building the division throughout that time.
Yeah, it's a solid opinion. I don't know if I have one in that regard. Some guys can come off a layoff and they've been so successful in their careers that having them fight for anything but a title is something the UFC just doesn't even want to do. So I understand where Jairzinho is coming from, because I mean, he's a guy who's up there. He's somewhat in that mix. But yeah, it doesn't concern me, and it's not. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks anyway. The UFC is going to put whoever they feel like for that interim title. If they feel like doing an interim title, and they feel like having fucking John Jones fight Cain Velasquez or some shit, they're just going to do it.
Yeah.
But if they want to bring back Brock Lesnar to fight Steve, they'll do it. Like, doesn't matter. Just you're still going to fight. I don't care. I mean, of course, I don't care about the title. I'm not even in the top 15. But like, I don't care about that, man. Why do you want to wait on a big long layoff, hoping that if you wait long enough, you'll get a title shot because you want a requisite amount of fights, man? You could take a few fights and just make a bunch of money. Eventually, if you're winning enough, you'll fall into that title shot. I don't know. I just don't really care. Yeah.
All right, a few more, man, before I let you go. This one is pertaining to MMA fans. You know, some of them are great, some of them are the worst. You know what I mean? What do you think fans obsess about too much that fighters really don't care about?
I'm not sure. Like, what do they obsess about that fighters don't care about?
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know, dude. I don't got anything for that.
For example, like let's say how a fighter looks on the scales during weigh-ins.
Oh,
Fans will obsess about like, oh, he looks so drawn out. You know, he dropped too much weight. You know what I mean? Like things like information that they don't really know, but they're obsessed about those things that fighters are not really paying attention to.
yeah, no, I know what you're saying, and that's definitely an example. It's an example that doesn't bother me because I don't cut weight, so I don't hear about it. uh, I don't have. I think the things that fans typically obsess about are things that fighters do think about, but they want to. You know, if you lose, you lost. You know why you lost. Probably you know what you need to work on. You don't need some fucking dickhead in your DMs telling you what you need to work on. But that's not your question. So I don't really have an answer for it.
All right, it's all good. Fair enough. You know, PTSD in combat sports, not CTE, but PTSD from like injuries or weight cuts or losses, maybe damage even taken in a fight. Have you ever experienced this and overcome it, or have you seen it in other fighters around you?
No, man, I haven't experienced it, and I don't think I've been around anybody who has either. If you're getting PTSD from your job or an activity that you engage in, then maybe you shouldn't do it.
Kevin Lee, he signs with Eagle FC, and he will be paid in crypto. I just wanted to get your take on cryptocurrency, and would you ever consider being paid in cryptocurrency?
What are they paying him in? Do you know?
I have no idea. I just know that he's getting paid in crypto. I don't know exactly the type.
I need Canadian dollars in order to live, so I would want at least a good sum of my purse in Canadian dollars at the moment. I would not be opposed to having part of my purse in some form of cryptocurrency, but depending on the time. So I mean, if say Bitcoin and Ethereum were at all-time highs, maybe everybody's excited about it, but do you want it then when it's never broken past a certain amount? Because then maybe it'll go up still, but likely it's just going to drop. So, but if it was at a low point, like I think right now everything's kind of down, if you expect that it's going to go back up near previous highs, then I guess if you're a gambling man, then now might be a time to take some of it in cryptocurrency and hope it appreciates, as long as you have enough actual dollars to get you by, until hopefully your investment, you can cash in on it a bit. But I think that's kind of going to be an individual decision.
You're back in action April 23rd, UFC Fight Night, Las Vegas, most likely. Thank you, Tanner, for the time. Good luck on the rest of the camp and the fight.
Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate the interview. Talk to you later.